Healthy living and healthy eating is important to our following guest. His juice bar, Born Juice, is the first hyper-local juice bar to open in the Bronx and is part of what he calls a healthy revolution. Joining us now to share more about Born Juice along with other health initiatives, we welcome now founder and CEO of Born Juice, Henry Obispo, and thank you so much for coming and being with us.
Thank you. Thank
you. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So let me understand this a little bit better. Yeah. You started off by doing some pop-ups.
Yeah.
And so people have had the opportunity to find out a little bit about Born Juice through pop-ups.
Yes.
But you really want to be able to tackle the issue of healthy living. And we know here in the borough of the Bronx where asthma, obesity, and all of those other things that come along with it challenge us. You say that you can bridge a gap.
Yes. Well, to backtrack a little bit, I want to say that I've been at this health, war in the Bronx for the last 5 years. The idea that came about was me researching within the South Bronx what were the realities in the South Bronx around health, because the health disparities were the gaps were so wide. Mm-hmm. So I ended up doing research by way of a fund from the USDA about food deserts, and the South Bronx being one of the biggest ones.
Right.
And so as a result of that, I got to know and really study deeply what was going on in the South Bronx and what was the realities on the ground. And we learned that access was one thing. Mm-hmm. And so as a result of that, I contacted tons of community organizations and local farms and local gardens and created a document that really showcased what the realities were, and really the realities of access was on top of that. From there, I became the president of the Restaurant Cooperative, which is the United Business Cooperative. Mm-hmm. And we started an initiative with several organizations here in the South Bronx called the Bronx Salad. Mm-hmm. And we created a dish and laid it out to the community and pretty much put it in about 20, 25 restaurants with the idea that the Bronx would have access. Again, mm-hmm. with the whole idea of the USDA and finding out that really access was an issue, we wanted to give access to the community by way of the Bronx Salad. It took us about a year to really come up with the salad because we had about 10 to 12 iterations of it, mm-hmm. and we asked the public to vote. So about 300 people in the Bronx voted for the salad. And it became a phenomenon. We're about
the Bronx Salad.
The Bronx Salad, yeah. And we do programming with Bronx Health Reach and another organization, Sobro, in the community, where we serve it to the community. We tell them how to do it. We tell them about the ingredients, and we source locally, and we offer it to them so that they can taste it. And this summer alone, we served it to about 700 people. Last summer, we did about 1,000 people. And now it's spreading within organizations and schools.
So talk to us about what's getting ready to happen for you.
So what's getting ready to happen is something that I've been working towards all this time, which was really knowing that access was the issue. I've traveled the world. I'm from the Bronx. I had the opportunity of being blessed and having education in my life. And I wanted to bring that back to the Bronx by way of health. And Born Juice is really the response to that reality and my desire to the betterment of the Bronx. The idea behind Born Juice is it's going to be the first local juice bar, which is a cold pressed juice bar, which is a very different technology than every other juice bar.
Explain what cold pressed juice bar is.
Well, cold pressed juice bar is, it leaves the juice and the enzymes and all that is good about the juice intact, as opposed to a centrifugal machine. The cold pressing has about 10 million pounds that compresses the fruit and the vegetable, and you get the exact live juice, mm-hmm. Which is not necessarily the case for the other system. But with that said, what we're planning to do is really create a health hub in the South Bronx. It won't be just a juice bar. It's a place where you come as a local person, you purchase, but you also, as we're having the youth work in a local hydroponic garden, they're also going to learn urban farming, because mm-hmm. we're growing a lot of that produce in a hydroponic about 5 blocks away from the juice bar. The idea is it's hyper-local, a hyper-local system that connects and creates a complete system where we also offer yoga and meditation to the community in a green rooftop that we will be having by way of our cooperation with local organizations. So the idea behind it is broader than just a juice bar. It is the beginning of what I like to call the health hub, but really a health revolution. And it's pretty much everything I've done for the last 5 years here in the Bronx.
And in addition to having the healthy juice bar, we also know that arts and culture are going to be integrated in that. So share with our viewers a little bit about how arts and culture is going to play a part, because as you come to this juice bar, it's not going to be just juice there, but the opportunity to participate in both arts and culture.
Definitely. It's what we like to call active design. And active design is a space where you're active, because we have so many issues with obesity, with high blood pressure, et cetera. We want to not just showcase art so that people could enjoy it. We want that too, but we want them to be active as they do that. So the idea is to create a space where people, as they look and appreciate art, and we're showcasing artists from the Bronx, they're also being active. So it's a very interactive situation that we're creating also, and that's another component that is going to be on par with the juice bar in the same building.
So when does this all take place?
This will all take place the beginning of the year, around the end of the first quarter of the year, right when the spring starts.
And so for people who don't know about having a healthy option, it's very much not an option here in the borough of the Bronx. I mean, there's a lot of great places, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually having healthy options, talk about how you're able to fill that gap, because it's a gap that we really have.
I mean,
really
the gap is so vast. It's like I felt like I was living in Brazil for about 3 years, and I came back and I realized that's when it really, really hit me. When there was a juice bar on every corner in Brazil, in Rio. I came back here, I came back home, and I realized that we are living in an abyss when it comes to food and health. And I think that the gap is people like myself and other people from the Bronx can close that gap, because we know what we need. So the idea is that we offer it to our community, we offer it to ourselves, and not necessarily wait for somebody else to come into the community and offer it to us when they really don't have us in mind. We want to be of the community and for the community and by the community. So that's really important. When I say hyper-local, I'm also meaning the people that open businesses. That the people that open businesses should be local, because they also know the local reality. And the gap that you're speaking of is a severe gap, which is generational. And it's going to take some time to close that gap, but we need soldiers for the revolution.
How receptive have people been since you've been?
Oh my God, it's been crazy. It's been just a clamor of just attention around the whole idea of having this cold pressed juice bar, which is pretty much foreign for anything north of 96th Street. They all happen to be, on the island, downtown or whatnot. But the idea behind that is that we deserve that. We deserve access. Why can't we have the very best? And that's what I want to bring. And the reaction has been incredible, especially when they know that it's going to be accompanied with other components of health in the community, and that community is going to have a tremendous involvement.
So how do people tie into you now?
Well, they can follow us at Born Juice on Instagram as well as Facebook. And I would love to invite everybody to come to the grand opening. We're going to have a huge party. And I want this to be the beginning of something that we continue on for the community and expand on it.
So you told me in the beginning you started off by doing pop-ups. You still doing those now until
And I'm doing pop-ups, yeah. I just did one last week with, it was called Rocking the Bridge. It was a great event in the South Bronx. It was the first of its kind, and it was put together by the Block CV and Edible Magazine, and it was just incredible. We sold out within 2 hours. Literally hundreds of bottles were sold, and people were just so excited to be out and have an event like that, that it brought out everybody pretty much from the Bronx and even from Harlem and other places. People traveled down there, and it was really incredible. So we're going to continue that also with my partnership with the Bronx Museum, looking to do several pop-ups there and continue that.
All right, so if people want more information, they do what?
They definitely follow us at Born Juice, BORNJUICE, on Instagram and on Facebook, and I'll give them more information there. They can follow us there.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate
Thank you so
it.
much for coming.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Thank you, sir.
Get you back at the grand opening time.
Yes, definitely. We'd love to have you.
All right, be glad to be there. All right, listen, take a quick break. Stay with us. We got more show. We'll be right back in a few.